Hello and welcome back to Stop and Go F1. I am Reese and this is our reaction to the qualifying session for the Spanish Grand Prix, and that was a fun one. It was very unpredictable, very close, especially for that top four teams, which is something that we discussed thoroughly in the preview yesterday, but overall, what a great session. Let's get into it. Firstly, of course, like and subscribe, and a special shout out to our members Dakota and the Joyous James, who are our AI Racing World Champion and above members. So they get a lovely little shout out in our video here. If you want to join the membership, I'll leave a link in the description. But let's get into the qualifying session, starting with Q1. And the biggest story of Q1 really is the struggle of the Racing Bills. Mainly because they came along to this race, had a lot of upgrades. We saw how well, especially Daniel Ricciardo did in Canada. So with an upgraded car, you'd start to think, okay, let's see how we can go from here, build upon this. But no, they really struggled all the way through the session and were out in Q1. The shock, though, even more shocking than those two going out, was that both Stake F1 Team Kick Sauber cars went through into Q2 for the first time for Zhou Guanyu. That rhymed. First time for Zhou Guanyu this year so far. The other thing to notice from Q1 is that Sargent impeded Stroll. I wouldn't be surprised if that ended up in a penalty for him, although he starts last anyway, so what does it matter? Let's go through it then. It was Sargent in P20 with Albon in P19. Awful for the Williams. I mean, no shock Sargent being 20th. It usually is either him or Zhou, the way this season has gone. But Albon, you'd expect better, so that is really just telling you either Albon's having a bad day or the Williams really is not suited to this track. Then it is all Racing Bills in the second to last row. Yuki Tsunoda 17th, Daniel Ricciardo 18th. Like I said, big upgrade on the car, and to be fair to them, they weren't too far off. It was Yuki Tsunoda was a 10th off of going through, and Ricciardo was just under 2/10, and then Magnussen was 16th, 0.056 off of going through into Q2. So the real shock there, not only Racing Bills not going through, but Stake did go through. Into Q2 though, and some more big hitters coming out here were Aston. Aston, very much like the Racing Bills, did do quite well in Canada, but in Spain, it's not gone well for them at all. So Zhou is 15th, Stroll 14th, Hulkenberg in 13th, Bottas was 12th, then Fernando Alonso in 11th place for his home Grand Prix, although there will be, Alonso will gain a position due to someone else's grid penalty. We'll talk about that in a bit. The main star, though, there, I think Bottas did fantastically well. We know how awful that car has been this year. So to see Bottas in P12 is a great result for him, especially at a time right now where his future looks very much uncertain. And with the rumours of Sainz going to Williams looking like they're more and more true, where Bottas falls in all of this has a big question mark. And I think as much as he hasn't really set the world on fire this year, I think that's more to do with the car than him, because he's put in some fantastic performances, and I think he deserves to be on the grid for next year, and hopefully he is. Going into Q3 now, and after the first laps for everyone, it was Piastri in 10th, who had his lap time deleted. Perez was 9th, Ocon 8th, Gasly 7th, Leclerc in 6th, Sainz in 5th, Russell 4th, Hamilton 3rd, Norris 2nd, Verstappen 1st. Then when everyone had done their final laps, well, everyone, apart from Oscar Piastri, on his final lap, just as he entered Sector 3, had a bit of understeer and went right through the gravel trap, didn't cross the line, didn't set a time. So Piastri, 10th fastest in Q3. Esteban Ocon is 9th. Sergio Perez finishes 8th. He actually sacrificed having another fast lap at the end in order to give Max Verstappen a tow down the start-finish straight. He does have a three-place grid penalty because in Canada, where he returned to the pits with his car in an unsafe condition, so he has got a three-place grid penalty, so he'll be down to 11th, which will raise Alonso to 10th, Piastri to 9th, and Ocon to 8th. Gasly was 7th. Fantastic result for both Gasly and Ocon. I've said a lot about Alpine, and I've said a lot that they're in a much better position they are now than they were at the start of the year when they were locking out the last row of the grid. Now, to have both cars into Q3, I think that needs to be celebrated. A huge, huge turnaround by the Alpine team to have their cars in a good position there, about where they should be, really. Alpine should be minimum the 5th fastest team, and that's where they are today, the 5th fastest team. So looking good for them thus far this weekend. It's all Ferraris next, because Leclerc is 5th and Sainz is 6th. That's the 3rd row. It's an all Mercedes 2nd row. Hamilton beating Russell for just the 2nd time this year. Hamilton in 3rd, Russell in 4th. Then onto the front row, it's Max Verstappen in P2 as Lando Norris takes his 2nd pole position ever by just 0.020 from Max Verstappen. So very, very close. And what you've got to remember as well, Verstappen did get that toe from Perez. Norris did not get a toe. So on the single lap pace, Norris and McLaren is much faster. Well, not much faster, but definitely faster than Max Verstappen here today. I said in the preview video that I thought the top 4 teams were all very close. In the end, I think Hamilton in 3rd was about 2 or 3 tenths off the back of the likes of Verstappen and Norris, but still very close in there, and the Ferraris were in there as well. Race pace, as we know, is very different to qualifying pace. I think all these guys are going to be in the mix. There is about 6 guys here who could realistically win this race this time tomorrow. And who knows at the start, they might all crash into each other and it'll be a 1-2 for Alpine. You never know. You can always dream, Alpine fans. So I think this is setting us up for what should be a very fun race. I know it's Spain. I know Spain can sometimes be very dull, but I think with these guys this close together on a track which everyone knows very well, and who knows, I think there was threats of rain. Especially in the mornings. It might be like a bit of a damp track. I'm going to just double check if it's the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. We don't want that. We've done that one. Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. So tomorrow there is rain forecasted throughout most of the day. The chance of rain does go down as the afternoon starts, but there could be little drops of rain here and there. You never know. So it's looking to be quite an exciting race tomorrow. Of course, I'll be here to talk about all of it. We'll also have all the coverage of the F2, F3 and F1 Academy. All of that to come. But yeah, what should be a really, really fun race. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to take the win. Give me your prediction for your podium here, because I think this should be a very good one. Right, that's all I've got time for today. I will see you tomorrow. Until then, though, have a good one. I'll see you later. Goodbye.